Did you know that 90% of the world's inventions were born out of necessity during times of crisis? After weeks of research, I've uncovered stories of groundbreaking inventions fueled by urgent needs. What desperate challenges sparked these revolutionary ideas? Let's dive in and find out. Necessity is the mother of invention, Plato famously said. But what does that really mean in the context of history and the present day? Let's think about a time when society faced its greatest challenges, like during wars, pandemics, or even natural disasters. It's in these moments, when the stakes are highest, that human ingenuity truly shines. Take, for example, the invention of penicillin. In the 1920s, Alexander Fleming accidentally discovered it, but it wasn't until the desperate need for antibiotics during World War II that it was mass-produced. The need to treat infections on the battlefield drove innovation, saving countless lives. But this brings us to a bigger question: could penicillin have become what it is today without the urgency of war? Or consider the creation of the Internet, which began as a response to communication challenges during the Cold War. ARPANET, the precursor to the modern Internet, was designed to maintain communication in the event of a nuclear attack. This need for reliable, resilient communication systems led to one of the most transformative inventions of our time. But, what if there wasn't a looming threat? Would we still have the Internet as we know it today? These stories show how necessity forces innovation. But they also raise another question: how do inventors navigate these challenges? What obstacles do they face when the world is pressing them for solutions? Thomas Edison, for instance, failed countless times before finally inventing the light bulb. His perseverance under pressure highlights how critical the combination of necessity and creativity is in the invention process. So, what's next? How have these inventions shaped the world today? And perhaps more importantly, how do they continue to influence the technology and innovations we use daily? Stay with me as we dig deeper into these questions and explore how these revolutionary ideas are still relevant today. So, how does necessity lead to these groundbreaking inventions? When faced with a crisis, inventors don't have the luxury of time or endless resources. They have to think fast, act faster, and often improvise with whatever materials are available. This urgency can be a powerful motivator, pushing inventors to come up with solutions that wouldn't have been considered under normal circumstances. Take the case of the Wright brothers. They were not just driven by a dream of flight but by the practical need for a reliable way to transport goods and people over long distances. They had to overcome countless challenges, engineering problems, material limitations, and even public skepticism. Yet, the pressing need for better transportation during their time pushed them to make the impossible possible. Their invention of the airplane didn't just change travel, it transformed the entire world economy by connecting distant places in ways that were unimaginable before. Or think about Thomas Edison's invention of the light bulb. The need for a safer, more reliable source of light was urgent. Gas lamps were dangerous, and candles weren't practical for extended use. Edison faced numerous failures, but the necessity of providing light in homes and streets drove him to keep experimenting until he succeeded. His perseverance paid off, and today, the light bulb is a fundamental part of daily life. But here's a question: could these inventions have happened without the pressure of necessity? Would Edison have created the light bulb if there hadn't been such a dire need for safe lighting? And if the Wright brothers hadn't been driven by the practical demands of transportation, would flight have been achieved so quickly? It's clear that necessity isn't just a motivator, it's often the catalyst that pushes inventors to turn ideas into reality. But what makes these inventions revolutionary? It's not just the solution they provide but the way they change the world around them. They don't just solve a problem, they create new opportunities, industries, and ways of thinking. But, not all inventions come from necessity alone. Sometimes, curiosity and creativity play a role too. So, how does necessity interact with these other forces? And how can understanding this help us innovate in our own lives? Let's explore that next. Let's continue with how necessity has fueled innovation and shaped the world as we know it. Throughout history, necessity has been the driving force behind many groundbreaking inventions. Take the COVID-19 pandemic as a recent example. In response to the urgent need for social distancing and remote communication, companies quickly developed new technologies to keep people connected in a physically disconnected world. Video conferencing platforms like Zoom surged in popularity, and innovations in telemedicine became essential to maintaining healthcare access during lockdowns and policy analysis. This shows how crises push for rapid advancements that might otherwise take years to develop. But necessity doesn't just lead to short-term solutions, it often sparks long-term change. Think about how the invention of vaccines has permanently transformed global health. The rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines, for instance, not only addressed the immediate crisis but also advanced mRNA technology, which has potential applications for other diseases like cancer and policy analysis. This is a clear example of how necessity not only solves problems but also paves the way for future innovations. However, it's important to ask, could these innovations have happened without the pressure of necessity? History suggests that while creativity and curiosity are crucial, it's often the urgency of a problem that accelerates the invention process. The light bulb, for example, was the result of persistent experimentation, but it was the need for safe and reliable lighting that made Edison's invention revolutionary. Without that pressing need, would we still be lighting our homes with candles? Moreover, these inventions don't just change the world in their own time, they continue to shape the future. The Internet, initially developed for secure military communication, is now the backbone of modern society, supporting everything from commerce to education science daily. This raises another key question: how will today's innovations, driven by necessity, influence the next generation of inventions? By the way, have you ever found yourself in a situation where telling the truth could hurt someone you care about? It's not always easy to decide between being honest and protecting someone's feelings. If you've ever been at that crossroads and wondered what the right choice is, you'll want to check out my next video, where we dive deep into this exact dilemma. Let's explore when honesty is truly the best policy and when comfort might be the safer path. Don't miss it. In conclusion, necessity is a powerful catalyst for innovation. But it's not just about solving immediate problems, it's about creating solutions that transform industries, improve lives, and open up new possibilities. As you think about these inventions, consider how understanding this process can inspire you in your own challenges. What problems can you solve with the tools you have? How can you turn necessity into opportunity? Remember, the next big innovation might be just around the corner, waiting for a crisis to bring it to life. If you found this exploration of necessity and invention insightful, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content on how challenges drive creativity and change.